there's nothing that I can't do. Every day, there's something swell. Like it may be Tigger's downs, watch Space Voyager's ship fly upside down, Charlotte my wife and girlfriends can be dandy around the place, or hang out with the Lion Queen at her space. Here at Lion Sponge, there's always something new. Here at Lion Sponge, there's nothing that we can't do. Here at Lion Sponge at the Lion Sponge Mansion. So much fun in this song. The Animaniacs are on board with our swell adventure, solving a mystery with Scooby-Doo and Mystery Inc., fighting crime and saving lives with the Teen Titans, and Patrick Star makes dumb statements, as he usually does. Here at Lion Sponge, there's always something new. Here at Lion Sponge, there's nothing that we can't do. Here at Lion Sponge at the Lion Sponge Mansion. Having fun at Lion Sponge every day.
Here we go everyone at Leon Sponge.
Hey, come on and enjoy this swell song.
Come on, come on, come on, come on.
Come on everyone, say, bag, that was swell. Here at Lion Sponge. At the Lion Sponge Mansion.
Hello, my pretties. Today I will be telling you a story on...
Tigger, what are you doing? You are not telling the story.
What do you mean, Drew? I thought I was telling the story.
Well, that is not the case. The Lion Queen has me telling this story. Perhaps you can tell a story some other time.
All right, Drew Pickles. At least I am in this one.
Pardon me about that. Tigger wants to tell a story himself, since the Wombert one he did last year, so perhaps he will tell a story some other time. Anyways, let's get this show in the road. Hello there my pretties, my name is Drew Pickles, the swellest bisexual polyamorous man in the universe. Today I will be going to the Villa Parisi in Italy located in Frascati, although the universe this one will appear in is from 1981 movie called Burial Ground, also known as The Nights of Terror. With that place I will be taking Tigger, Rabbit and Charlotte Pickles with me. We will head to that place to see our friends from the Burial Ground universe. Now you all may be scratching your heads wondering, how am I gonna get to Villa Parisi? Well, me along with Tigger, Rabbit and Charlotte will be taking the transwarp machine to that place, where it will be in Burial Ground universe. While we were there, Tigger said that he is glad that we left Barney at home or he'll clog up any toilets around Italy, and that the Lion Queen will be keeping a good eye on him. As we approached the door to the villa, we would be meeting Professor Ayres, who welcomed us to the villa and say that we can have fun with the guests at his house, just don't make it Barney Bunch version. Well, I can say that we are the Lion Sponge, and we would never do the shit that my gay counterpart and his butt buddies do, wherever they go, so this will be swell. Once we enter the villa, we would be greeted by the maid Kathleen, who would ask us on why me, Charlotte, Tigger and Rabbit are here. Rabbit would say that we are here to see our friends from the Burial Ground universe, so Kathleen will be cleaning like Cinderella, so we will not pay too much attention to her. She is a beast with keeping the place clean, sounds like me. Rabbit would say, as Tigger would bounce in the hallway, only to have bounced on none other than Nicholas the butler. Tigger would greet him, as Nicholas looked at him. Tigger, what the hell gives you the idea to bounce on me? As he asks this, I reminded Tigger not to do that to anyone here, as most people don't like that. Tigger would apologize to the butler, and ask him for chocolate ice cream, when he said that we'll have lunch first than ice cream. Tigger sure has an addiction to ice cream. It is like alcohol, but at least he isn't getting wasted in that. As we headed for the dining room, we would see Michael, the one kid that has an unhealthy relationship to his mother Evelyn. If you have seen the movie, then you will know what I am talking about. No need to say it here. We all sat down at the table, while the rest of the guests showed up. We would all be seeing Evelyn's husband George as well as their friends, James with his wife Leslie and Mark with his wife Janet. Charlotte would ask them on how they are doing, to which they replied with that they are doing well. Rabbit would be sitting beside Michael, to which for some reason he was making him uncomfortable. Tigger would reach across the table for bread, only for Mark to scold him about reaching at the table. Well, fuck, this sucks. Tigger will cross his arms and say, and then I will remind Tigger to behave himself, for he will not be going to Chuck E. Cheese for a whole month. Then Nicholas would be serving pizza for lunch to each. It was very swell. However, Tigger would be trying to hog all of the pizza, but I would tell Tigger to not hog all of the pizza like Barney does, to which Tigger will be behaving himself. After we have had the pizza for lunch, we would have chocolate ice cream, to which it was Tigger's request. As we all left the dining room, Rabbit would head to a room with Tigger, while me and Charlotte explored the place. Tigger and Rabbit would see George and Evelyn in their room relaxing, and they asked on what they were doing. Rabbit would say that he and Tigger are checking out the place, to which Evelyn and George had no problem with that. However, with Michael, in the other hand, Tigger and Rabbit were a bit uneasy around him, but they had to be polite and not say anything about him. While me and Charlotte were in one room, Leslie along with James were both going at it in the shower of their bedroom, so we would both respect their privacy, as me and Charlotte would be watching Bill Jensen in my laptop and watch as he would rage while streaming. As we watched Bill Jensen, there would be two people sneaking into the villa. They would be none other than those two dumbasses known as Beavis and Butthead. We didn't see them walk in, as they snuck in through the window of James and Leslie's room and they would sneak out of the room, while me and Charlotte were watching Bill Jensen. As Charlotte and I laughed at Bill Jensen screaming over the fun shaker, Janet and Mark would walk in to watch the stream with us. Then Bill Jensen would be screaming, "Stop with the ear rap." We would hear that from Bill's stream, as Janet would call him Chris Griffin in a Discord call, to which Bill would rage and say that Chris Griffin is not his name, but we still laughed it off. Mark would then tell Bill to throw his chair, and we nearly pissed ourselves at the part where Bill would throw his chair. After that, Janet and Mark would go into their room to go at it, as they were both feeling like it, since they can hear James and Leslie both going at it in the shower. As they both did that, Charlotte and I would both go at it in James and Leslie's bed, to which I hope they do not mind. As me and Charlotte were getting it on, it would sound like this place is super swell. The Lion Queen likes this Italian zombie movie, and it is very swell. Charlotte is a swell wife as well as my girlfriends. And now for the big finish. Peg, that was swell. After me and Charlotte went at it in bed, James and Leslie would come out to see us on the bed. They had a feeling on what we were doing, to which it was okay, so they asked if they could join us, to which we could never pass on this opportunity. While me and Charlotte were with Leslie and James, Tigger and Rabbit would both walk down the hallway to see Beavis and Butthead, both using Evelyn's scarf to pretend to be her. They had a feeling that those two would cause trouble, so they would have to keep an eye on them. Beavis and Butthead can be troublemakers, and Tigger can see them using the telephone in George and Evelyn's room to do some prank calls, especially to Harry Sack from that prank call episode from Beavis and Butthead. However, Evelyn would see them and yell at them to get the hell out of their room, thus chasing Beavis and Butthead out of her room. As they ran off, Tigger and Rabbit said to Evelyn about Beavis and Butthead causing trouble, so she would go warn the others that those two dumbasses are there to cause trouble. Tigger and Rabbit would both be learning Professor Ayers about Beavis and Butthead, and he said that he would let Kathleen the maid and Nicholas the butler know about it right away, and to report to us if they see or even catch Beavis and Butthead. However, the next part is coming up. Beavis and Butthead would also dump garbage all over the floors of the hallway of the villa, as they start to smear garbage on the walls and the floor, as they laughed and said that it is swell to pull some pranks. Beavis and Butthead would then see Mark's camera in a desk not far from his and Janet's room, to which it was a mistake on Mark's behalf, as Beavis and Butthead would grab his camera and peek inside of the bedroom. Mark was in the bathroom, while Janet had no clothes on, and this Beavis and Butthead would take photos of her so they can hope to score at her. However, as they turned around, me along with Charlotte, Tigger, Rabbit and our friends would be looking at them with unhappy faces. Then Mark would snatch the camera from them. "So you're both taking photos of my wife?" Mark would ask, as he sensed what they did. Janet would have her robe on, and she would say that taking those photos of her was inappropriate of them, since Mark is the only one to do that. Beavis would say that he and Butthead want to score at the women, to which Janet would spit at Butthead, and Leslie would smack his face and tell them that they would both never score a woman if they keep up being immature dumbasses. As they told them both off, Beavis and Butthead would run towards the bathroom, to which Evelyn would follow the two teens, while her friends and us were behind her. As we approached the hallway bathroom, Evelyn would try to open the door, only for Beavis and Butthead to have locked the door. Godfather fucking damn it, Beavis and Butthead have both locked the door. Evelyn would curse it, as Janet had an idea. "I have a swell idea, I know who to call to get their asses out of there." As Janet said that, she got Mark to get on the phone, to which he does. Then he would be calling Coach Buzzcut to come to the villa to teach Beavis and Butthead a swell lesson. As Mark was on the phone, Beavis and Butthead would both be clogging the toilet with garbage, to which the toilet will be overflowing. "Those two are gonna get their desserts," George would say, as Beavis and Butthead would both be dumbasses, as they always are. James would then threaten to shove a shovel up their asses if they don't get out of the bathroom. Tigger would then break down the door, to which everyone was surprised by his strength. "Tigger is sure strong." Rabbit would say, as Beavis and Butthead see that they were busted. Then Beavis would spit on Evelyn, and Butthead would fart on Tigger's face, to which he was gagging, as well as the guests that smelled the fart on Butthead, as Beavis and Butthead ran past us. We would then be on the chase of them, as Beavis runs into Mark, to which he would grab him and say, "You aren't getting away with it, Beavis." You and Butthead would be getting a spanking back in Highland High School by Coach Buzzcut, to which he is on his way to the villa right now. As we went on a wild goose chase, we have chased Beavis and Butthead to a model builder's workshop to which, as Beavis and Butthead locked us out, Mark would be telling them that they are busted for sure, and Beavis would be like how, then Professor Ayers as well as Nicholas and Kathleen would enter the workshop from one way and they sure kicked their asses, as Rabbit unlocks the door and we all head inside the workshop. Beavis and Butthead would see that they are trapped as well as busted, but Coach Buzzcut will soon do their worst on them, so there is no doubt about that. As we cornered them, Mark would be kicking Beavis and Butthead like a soccer ball around the room, while Professor Ayers unleashes the Barney Bunch. Oh, what are those sick fucks doing here? As Butthead asked, that my gay counterpart and his butt buddies would hear that Beavis and Butthead called them the magic word, and they know what that means. A sick fuck you say, Butthead? Me and the Barney Bunch will show you and Beavis on what happens if you call us the magic word. As the Barney Bunch would have a swell NSFW time with Beavis and Butthead, we would all watch and laugh, as they were getting what is coming to them and it would sound like think twice before calling us sick fucks. You two will never score at women, because you're immature. And now for the Barney Bunch to finish like swa 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 swa. Peg, that was swell. After the Barney Bunch gave Beavis and Butthead their swell medicine, their asses would be sore, just as Coach Buzzcut arrives. Beavis and Butthead, what the hell did I tell you about pulling pranks on people? Invading a woman's privacy was also another thing you did. As Coach Buzzcut said that, we would explain to him about the trouble the dumbasses caused us and Coach Buzzcut would thank Mark for calling him, and now he will make sure that Beavis and Butthead stay in school and not skip to go to places to pull pranks. After Coach Buzzcut takes Beavis and Butthead back, Professor Ayers invited me, Charlotte, Tigger and Rabbit to stay for dinner, to which it was swell so why not. Then we would explore the outside gardens of the villa. We had such a swell fun time, and Rabbit and Tigger got to play funny jokes and not ones that Beavis and Butthead do. This makes me wonder when they will ever get a girlfriend. I guess they will never get one, if they keep going down the path that those two are on. After our fun in the villa, we would say goodbye to our friends from burial ground, so Janet said to me and Charlotte to bring the Linus Bunch the next time we visit them, to which I will be sure to do that. Tigger would hug Mark and tell him to score Janet again, to which Mark will ruffle his head playfully. Rabbit told Tigger to not get in Mark and Janet's business, to which he would drag Tigger by the tail, as we head home. After we used the transwarp machine to head back, the Lion Queen asked us in how was our stay in Frascati in Italy, to which we will say it was a very swell day, despite Beavis and Butthead pulling pranks on us just so they can cause trouble. The Lion Queen sighed, as she wasn't surprised. Beavis and Butthead always slack off and cause trouble, and it isn't the first time our friends in the burial ground universe had to deal with them. In fact, that they had dealt with them 2 weeks ago, when Beavis and Butthead replaced Janet's shampoo with mustard, to which it made her angry like no tomorrow. Hope that Beavis and Butthead will think twice before pranking us. They are bad at pranks just like Patrick Star was a few years back, although Patrick isn't as bad as he was back then, as he has been improving a lot on pranks. Charlotte and I would spend the rest on our night chilling, and then Tigger and Rabbit would both play on their Nintendo Switches playing video games for the night, and then Charlotte and I would both fall asleep from all the swellness fun we all had. That was a day we will remember. Wow, that day was super duper swell. I think me, Charlotte, Rabbit and Tigger will go to the Villa Parisi in Frascati right now. See you all later, my swell pretties. If you are new to this channel, be sure to like, comment, subscribe and ring the notification bell to when the Long Queen uploads a new video. If you want to see a video called Drew Pickles Explains His Reasons for Not Starring in Burial Ground The Nights of Terror, let me know what you think in the comments. Also be sure to follow the Lion Queen in DeviantArt as well as her Twitter, as links to those will be in the About page section of this channel. Also be sure to sub to her backup channel known as Mrs. Dark Shadow, as a link to that is also located in the About page section of this channel. And that is all for today, so I will see you all in the next video and take care my pretties, and we will see you next time.